How's it going, guys? It's Sean here, and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Adidas Yeezy Boost 700 V2 in the static colorway. These drop on December 29th for $300 US or $400 here in Canada. Being a V2 model, this means that this is the second generation of the Yeezy Boost 700 model from Adidas. In terms of how these were released, these were actually a little bit more limited than I had originally anticipated. Here in Canada, there was no online release, so all the boutiques that got their stock, they had to sell them in store, and we suspect that it's because Adidas is trying to build up the hype following the flop that was the Mauve 700 V1. So for me, I managed to grab my pair from the Adidas original store in downtown Toronto. I had to line up for about an hour to an hour and a half to get my pair. So jumping straight into the shoe, so this takes the bottom half of the original Yeezy 700, but it gives us an all new upper. So this upper is predominantly constructed using this gray colored thick knit. Unlike your traditional prime knit, this knit has a bit of a rougher feel to it. Covering this mesh, we have a ton of different overlays. So specifically around the toe box, you'll see we have these hits of nubuck, along with hits of 3M, both surrounding this nubuck overlay, along with this bottom tab at the base of the tongue that holds the laces. Running up the center of the shoe where the eyelets are, once again we have this gray colored nubuck, and then two of the eyelets near the top are done in 3M. Running down the bottom of the upper of the shoe, we have this very soft cream colored leather. This strip of leather runs across basically the whole length of the shoe and wraps around the back heel as well. On the back heel, you'll see there's these 5 perforations found on either side, and there's 3M underneath this, and then there's also another hit of 3M found right in the center. On the midfoot of the shoe, overlaid on top of the knit, we have these 3M stripes that gives this shoe a very sleek look, and it sort of pays homage to Adidas as well. In terms of the tongue, so we have a knitted gray tongue, and this is actually stitched onto the sides of the shoe. So unlike the Wave Runners, which was not stitched on at all, and then the Mauves, which had those 2 bungee cords on either side, in this case, the tongue here is not going to be moving at all. But whether or not this is a good thing or not, it's all personal preference. For me, I kind of preferred the OG style where the tongue was just kind of free to move, but really it's not that big of a deal, and I can live with it. Overlaid on top of the tongue, we have your 3M laces, so combining all the 3M hits on this shoe, if you do take a picture of the shoe with flash, this is going to really light up. The interior of this shoe is constructed using this gray colored textile, and then taking out the insole, so these come with an Ortholite branded insole. On the heel, we have the Ortholite logo, the Yeezy logo, and the Adidas logo, and then flipping this over to the back, you'll see there's actual additional padding in certain targeted zones, providing additional comfort for your foot. So the upper of these static 700s sits atop this midsole that is unchanged from the original version. In this case, the entire midsole is done in one color, and when you compare this to the Wave Runners, you'll see that in this case, we had paint covering certain areas of the midsole, whereas for the statics, this is much more of a clean and simplistic look to it. Encased within this midsole, we do have Adidas Boost running from heel to toe, and then turning these over to the bottom, we have the exact same outsole that was found on the V1s, so this is entirely done in black rubber. We have the Adidas logo on the bottom heel, and then this exposed boost running throughout the length of the outsole. In terms of sizing, so my feet measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I got both the V1s and the V2s in a size 10.5. For me personally, I found that sticking true to size, there's a little bit of discomfort around the toe. This toe box is a little bit shallow, so I felt like it was pressing down onto my toes. By going up to the 10.5, it alleviated this problem, but I do know a lot of people that recommend sticking true to size, so really it's just personal preference and the shape of your foot. From a comfort standpoint, so these pretty much feel exactly the same as the V1s. It's a shoe that needs to be broken in. Straight out of the box, you don't feel the boost too much, but as you do get some mileage on these shoes, eventually they'll break down a little bit more, and then you can feel that boost much better. For these guys right here, I did wear them on vacation for a few times, and they are pretty much well broken in by now, and I gotta say that they are really comfortable. From a quality perspective, so I feel like the materials used on these guys are a little bit more premium than the ones found on the V1s. However, whether or not you appreciate the changes in the design of the upper is entirely up to you. For me, I feel like the V2s are a little bit more sleek and a little bit more streamlined. It has more of that flowing look to it as opposed to the V1s that was a little bit more random. However, I don't love the color blocking on these V2s, and I sort of like the hits of color that was found on the V1s. So with all that being said, now let me lace these up and I'll show you guys how these guys look on feet. Following up with the Yeezy 700 V1, there is a split opinion on these, and I can see why. It is a very polarizing design. It has a very strong dad shoe aesthetic to it, and the color scheme of this shoe, being gray and white essentially, also makes this shoe look extra geriatric. I personally still like them though. I appreciate the changes in the design, and once I break these in a little bit, I bet you they're going to be very, very comfortable as well. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the static Yeezy Boost 700 V2. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a follow on Instagram at sgo8, check out my Twitter at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, thank you for the continued support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.